Hello and good evening, guys, and welcome to this live session. And yes, you must have seen by now what is this live session for, sir? What is the agenda of this live session? And you must have already seen the thumbnail, where today I'm going to introduce you to yet another achiever, yet another success story, which I'm going to discuss with you. Yes, this time CMA final, AIR, All India Rank 19. I'm going to introduce you to All India Rank 19. Many of you asks me, several times you've put in a question on my comment box, sir, what happens if we have a rank? What happens if we secure a rank, or if we are amongst the merit list holder? What happens? Guys, the thing which happens is that you stand out of the crowd, and you are clearly demarcated, you are distinguished in the campus as well as off the campus. You will definitely be recognized as someone who's different from the crowd, and that is the benefit of having a rank in your intermediate and final. And guys, this time I'm going to introduce you to a person who has secured a rank in All India rank in CMA finals, and that too All India rank 19. Guys, it's my pride and privilege to introduce you to my student. And yes, I can proudly say he's my student, Rangesh, CMA Rangesh. He is now. Welcome, welcome, Rangesh. And first of all, many, many congratulations on attaining this big, big milestone of your career, getting an All India rank in CMA final. How does it feel, Rangesh?
Yeah, basically, it was from your WhatsApp group that I got to know that I got a rank. I was not, I did
Oh,
not get it from the institute website or something. So
okay.
I saw that I've cleared, and I was basically, I was at a client place. So I was working, and then when I saw WhatsApp and you had shared the rank list, that's I was not, I'm not sure if it was you or some other student, but that's when I got to know that I had got a rank. So it was a pleasant surprise. I was never expecting one, to be honest.
And what was your parents' reaction on knowing that their son have got an all
Yeah,
India?
yeah. So basically, I was not with my parents when I saw my results, or when I saw the rank list. As I told you, I was in my client place, and they are in a different city, and I am in Chennai. So basically, when I shared with them, they would have been much more happier than me. To be honest, I'm pretty sure about that. But I was not fortunate enough to see that reaction in person.
That's great. That's great. So, Rangesh, all my viewers are waiting, eagerly waiting for here for your advice, comments, for your strategy. So, this sort of a strategy, what you adopted for attaining an All India rank. What was your strategy? How did you do the revisions and it's all the things? And what were the last moment study plans which you had followed? This is exactly what my audience is looking forward to, because they also want to achieve an all India rank. So directly over to the direct question, Rangesh, what exactly was the strategy which was followed by you?
So basically, just like as I shared with you over WhatsApp, it was basically the same strategy that I followed for my CA final exams for the remaining six papers, which were pretty similar to what is there in CA, except for maybe a slight advanced areas like transportation that is present in the costing paper. The rest was the same from CA final. So whatever I had prepared, I had stuck on to that. I knew that I had cleared there, so I'm pretty sure I'd be able to clear here as well, because that strategy had worked out well in one place. So it's pretty sure it will work out well here as well. So those six papers were actually sorted. When it comes to cost audit and a little bit of SPMBV, wherein SPM is slightly completely new from what we have in CA. Business valuation, of course, we do have as a part of SFM, but that to an extent, yeah, maybe like out of the 100 marks, around 30, 40 marks, maybe you would have studied in CA, but the rest 60 is completely new in CMA, and cost audit is completely new. For these, I appeared for my CA final in July 21. So I mean, I had hopes that I'll clear, but it was not that I'll definitely clear something, because we know how professional exams work. So
Absolutely.
and then I started preparing for CMA immediately. I had that 3 4 months between CA exams and results and the campus placements and stuff. So my ultimate focus was I was a little weak in DT in CA final as well. I'll not say weak, but since the syllabus is vast, it requires a lot of attention. So I had planned, like, basically I had to complete three papers before I get my CA results, so that even if it is negative, I'd be able to appear for both the exams I was not aware that the schedules will clash back then. So my plan
Huh.
was like if I do not if I end up not clearing CA, I'll be able to appear for both. So I was focusing on DT, SPMBV, and cost audit, and I made sure that before the CA results came, I had these three papers sorted, because the rest of the papers I was fairly comfortable with, and the syllabus is also not that vast, and it was almost 100% similar to CA. One more paper that I had a little challenge was CFR, because in CA it was completely Indies, and here it is ACE and a little bit of Indies. So that was one
Indies,
paper that,
yes.
yeah. So that was a paper also where I faced some challenge, but even that was manageable, because AS we had studied in intermediate also, both in CMA and CA.
Hmm.
So that was something that we are quite comfortable with. But these three papers actually, DT, since it's very vast, and considering the nuances in cost audit and SPMBV, which is fairly new, or something that I've not worked on much. So
Correct.
even in cost audit, if you see operation audit, management audit, internal audit, and stuff, it is something that you dealt in CA as well. The cost audit
Right.
standards and the case studies is where we do not have exposure to in CA exams. So these two were the main areas where I focused during those 3 4 months, so that my focus, let me be very honest, I was never expecting a rank, because I
Huh.
had already joined a job when I wrote my CMA exams. I was with Deloitte already. I'm working with Deloitte right now, so I was already with
Wow.
Deloitte, and so even before I joined them, I made them know that I'm having my CMA exams in December, and it is okay if I do not get a study leave, because I had 4 months of study leave where I worked, and I'm fairly comfortable with. But I was very open with them on saying that I basically need exam leaves on those days. I'll not compensate on that. I want to attempt it. I want to appear in this attempt. So they were also comfortable with that, and fortunately or unfortunately, I got a rank. That's my preparation strategy as
Great.
such.
So, Rangesh, you are telling me that you did not had a lot of leaves before your examination, and you just have leaves
Yeah,
on the
like from November
dates of the
1st, I joined
examination.
work. Yeah, November 1st, I joined work. So I got to leave. I mean, I did not get a leave. I got to work from home on the day before exams. So I was working until 6:30, and then I had some time to study for law.
So, how many revisions do you think are ideal before the examination goes?
Basically, I'm someone who believes that quality is more important than quantity. So I've always believed in that, be it CA or CMA. I'm not someone who says 4 5 revisions. It is not practically possible if you want to give the full attention to the paper, or the attention that each paper deserves. So basically, my mindset was always to go in depth every time, so that even if I cover once, I'll be comfortable with, say, 60 70% of the areas. Not very comfortable, but fairly comfortable, so that I'll be able to at least tackle some or questions out of those areas. So that was the strategy that I always adopted. And then, yeah, so basically, the revisions that I did were around maybe three, including the day before exams, would have been four. So three
Hmm.
revisions is the ideal number for me, considering the kind of revision that I do.
Okay, okay. And Rangesh, what were the challenges which you faced because of the pattern which was changed just before the examination? So, what are the key things which CMA students should take into consideration with respect to the online pattern which has been newly introduced?
I mean, there are two basic challenges. Not just with the online pattern, with the exam time frame in general. As a CA student, I mean, I first did CA. So as a CA student, it was a 16-day examination. I had a fairly comfortable time to revise, considering the vastity of the subjects. I need time for revision to give the quality that I want. The first major challenge that I faced was with respect to sleep. Those 8 days were really hard for me. I hardly got any sleep, because, as I told you, I focus on quality. I do not mind if I've not done 100% of the revision, but if I do 80%, though, that 80% should be 100%. That is basically what
Hmm.
I expect out of myself. So that was the major difficulty that I felt. Rather than the paper pattern or something, it was with respect to the time, basically 8 days, 8 exams. Considering the vastity of the subject, it got to me. The final 2 3 papers, my eyes were big, it were sore and stuff. So that was the most difficult challenge that I met. But the exam pattern and stuff, this I mean, they do have the practical difficulties, but basically they told that there'll be a 15-minute reading time, but it was given only for the instructions. We were reading the same instruction over and over again for all the 8 exams for 15 minutes. There was literally no value addition, to be honest. So that was one major issue that I faced. And then other than that, there were practical issues. Basically, you're solving sums. We were not informed whether the that the work paper that we are working with will be valued or not. How will it be valued? Or we never got a understanding of how exactly things are going to happen, whether there'll be step marks, because we're just going to write the final answers for for all the problem papers in our um,
Right.
online system.
Right.
We were not aware of
Hmm.
how the step marks will be given and stuff. So these kind of gray areas where we were not given proper information, those were the major things. The question paper as such, it is a professional exam. It will be to an extent difficult. It will not be like bread and butter,
Right.
obviously. So with the question paper part of it, I do not have any negatives or any issues or
But what about
complaints.
typing? Would typing form an integral part of the entire thing? Because intermediate students might not be very fluent in typing.
Correct, correct. Yeah, exactly. That is a major drawback for theory papers.
Theory
Basically, like
papers.
since even cost CMA student, pure CMA students, they'll have at least 6 months of exposure to computer working. If you're doing CA also or CS also, you'll have maybe like 3 years of experience also with computers. So typing as such, I did not face a difficulty because I cleared intermediate in 2019 December itself. I appeared over two
Hmm.
attempts because I was not aware of this computer thing that should be completed before group 2 and stuff. I was not very
Hmm.
um, aware of those rules that are present in CMA, so I did not know that. So I wrote over two attempts, but I wrote a written exam. So I did not face the difficulty back then, but right now, since we were accustomed to typing, it was not a difficulty per se. But considering a fresher who has not spent time on computer, it will definitely be a difficulty. There is no doubt in it,
Correct.
because that too,
Correct.
considering the keyboards that were there, actually, the keyboards were even harder for a person who has a decent exposure to typing. It was hard to type. The keys were pretty hard, actually. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
that was a
So
major
yes,
drawback.
which means
Typing
a
will always be a drawback. Yeah.
fair bit of challenges which were thrown at CMA students on an online pattern. But yes, at the end of the day, you came out a victorious person, and you came out victorious. So that is the key. Even in adversities, even amongst the obstacles, you have to struggle, you have to hustle, and you have to come out as a victorious person. So yes, Rangesh, you have really done it, and you've done this Herculean job for yourself. Now I can see a question which is popping up on the chat box, which says that what do you think is the scope of CMAs in the big fours? Now, since you're working with one of the big fours, what is the scope of CMAs in the big fours?
So
A tricky one,
basically,
though, huh?
even now, like I've seen adverts on LinkedIn or other job boards wherein big fours are hiring for CMAs. Basically,
Yes.
CMAs do have a pretty vital role in two of the major departments that are functioning in big fours, considering that we are more right now, audit is not the only thing expected out of professionals. We are even now in big fours, as everyone might be aware, we are having multiple verticals. Management consulting is a vertical, and risk advisory is a vertical. These two are verticals where management accountants are hired on a larger scale. Maybe in
Okay.
core stat audit, they might not be there might not be a huge hiring, but in
Correct.
risk advisory and your management consulting, you do have a very good scope, and there is a pan India hiring in all the big fours. If that particular city has a management consulting vertical, which most of the metro cities do have, they'll definitely be hiring for CMAs.
Okay. Which means there's some opportunity which is there in Big Fours. So when I was in Big Four back, then 10 years back, I always used to hear that Big Fours always prefer CAs. But yes, time has changed now, and now CMAs also do stand an equally a good job, a fair chance in the Big Four world. And as we all know that Big Fours are the epitome of financial consulting world. So yes, it's a proud for you for working. You're working for one of the big fours. So another question which is popping up is, how should we, on an online pattern, how should we present the theory papers? Because on an online pattern, when we are typing, say, lengthy answers of theory, then how should we make sure that presentation is good?
Uh, I mean, presentation by online. I'm not exactly sure on how we present in an online thing, but to be honest, I did not focus much on presentation because I was not aware on how to present in an online forum because the enter key was not working. I was not able to go to the next line for typing point number two. I had to put point one, continue, comma, point two, and go. If I put enter, it was not going to the next
Oh,
line. That was another issue that we faced.
oh,
So
hmm.
that is there. There are
Okay,
I
so
mean,
you were
there
not
was
able to,
yeah
you were
one,
not
and
able
then
to
if
move to
you
the
put
next
comma and
line.
put enter, it should come down, but it was not coming down.
It
There
was
were
not
such
coming
issues
down.
that we mentioned. Yeah,
So you had to put a space and then write a two for your second point, and it was looking as a paragraph is written
yeah, it was like a
continuously.
paragraph. So presentation was not something that
Oh,
I gave a big focus on, or maybe I was not aware on how to bring it down. Other people might be aware, but I did not give
hmm.
a huge importance to presentation because anyways, like
Okay,
I was not aware on how to present. To be honest, I just focused on the
right,
answers.
right,
Believed in God that if the answers are correct, I'll be getting marks. That's all.
right, right, right. Great, great. So
I
another
was
question which
I
is
was
coming,
I was
yeah,
very focused on the first 40 marks. If I score maximum out of that first 40,
yes,
the remaining where the presentation plays a key part. Even if I miss out to an extent, I'll be compensated with those 40
yes.
marks.
That is the key. That is the key. Those 40 marks, initial 40 marks holds, the key to success. I
But
think over there you have to
that's where
perform.
That's where also the institute played a major trick in problem papers. Say, for example, in CFR, questions which were asked for 6 or 8 marks in the previous attempts came for 1 mark in this attempt. So
Hmm.
it took a lot of
Hmm.
time. I spent around 1 hour, 25 minutes on those 40 marks in CFR, ending up with just
Right,
60 minutes, 1.5 hours for the 60 marks, which
right,
involved even more
right.
calculations and time, even more time consuming.
Right, right, right. Great. So that was the biggest hitch. And yes, CFR paper was lengthy as well, because
Yeah.
everyone is saying that it was a bit lengthy. All right, all right. So the next question is, how do you manage job and CMA final both together?
That I had covered for
I
4 months. So I had
yes.
prepared already.
Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking.
As I had told you, I had already 4 months to prepare in between July and October. I knew that I'll be joining a job by October end or November starting max once I got the results in September. So those 1.5 months, I pushed myself to the maximum. I also had interviews in between. I had to spend some time. If it was an industry, a company from the industry, I had to spend time on knowing the company as well, because if it is a big four or a consulting firm, they'll not ask about themselves, what is who is the CEO and
Mm.
stuff, because it is not generally public. It might be public, but it is not something that is generally tested upon in interviews. But if it is an industry, you'll have to know the company, you'll have to know who's the KMP there, who's the person in charge over there and stuff. So that was also playing a major role there. So I had to spend some time on that, not a major amount of time, considering that it is a virtual interview. They also have their own time constraints. It will not go for long. They had to cut short interviews to 30 minutes max. So I knew that they'll focus on my technicals more, and if I was not aware of the company's internal things much, they'll not be rejecting me on that ground. So I knew that my technicals were strong, so I reduced that time and I focused on CMA for this 1.5 months, and try to push and maximize those 1.5 months to the fullest extent,
Correct.
so that even when I join the job, I'll be comfortable with the preparation that I had.
So time management, guys, is the key. Whatever time you have to manage that time well. It is not that you'll have a lot of time. You have to manage the time whichever you've got well. So Rangesh, one student is asking,
Basically, there are two
yeah,
basic lines that I believe in. One is a proverb that was given to me by my eighth standard class teacher, and one is a line that was given by my costing faculty in my CA intermediate. The first thing is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is a proverb that I'll take till
yes,
my grave. That is one major life lesson that I've learned. And then the second thing that my costing faculty told me, he's one of my major inspirations. So what that was the first proverb that he wrote on the board when I went to CPD classes to him. That was the first day
Okay.
of my CPD class. That was the problem that was there in the board. Success can never be denied. It can only be delayed. Delayed success is not denied success. So we'll definitely end up achieving our goals, but it is about when we achieve. That is where the hard work and
Right.
the planning stuff is involved.
Right. Great, great, Rangesh. This was these two quotes were really good. And yes, all the students must follow some basic rules like planning, like time management, like how to strategize. Those are the key words in any of the professional examination, be it CA, CS, or CMA. Strategy is forming a critical part. And another question which is related again to this particular issue, Rangesh, to you is a student is asking, didn't you get afraid when you got yourself registered for two most difficult examinations, two most difficult courses of the country, CA and CMA? How did you get courage to do both of them together?
That basically, like, since when I was a kid, I was never uh, I was never afraid of exams or such things. I knew that if I had prepared well, I'll end up doing well. And basically one major thing that I've drawn out of these two professional exams for my life is, whatever it is, whatever be the situation that you are, if you believe in yourself, if you are confident in your skill set, you'll end up achieving what you want. Those are the two major items that I have learned from these two courses in general. So I was always self-confident. I had belief in me. I always had that fire. I knew that it is difficult, but I wanted to push myself. That is basically how I like to live my life.
Right. So, guys, consistency is the key, confidence is the key, and perseverance is the key. Rangesh also will agree that you might fail at a given point in time. When you aim high, you are bound to fail, you are bound to face obstacles, but don't stop because of those obstacles. Don't quit and just carry on. So, Rangesh, last three tips that you would like to give all the students of the country regarding how to get success in professional examination. Any three tips that you want to give in any of the professional examinations?
Yeah, since you touched upon the topic of failure, I can share with pure honesty. It's not something that I'm what can I say, worried about or not embarrassed about. I did not clear my CA final in my first attempt. CMA was always the first attempt.
Oh,
Inter and final I did it in my first attempt. CA final I did it in my second attempt, and CA intermediate I cleared it first group in first attempt and second group in the second attempt. I failed once in intermediate and once in
okay,
final. So I've been exposed to failure as well,
okay,
but that never bothered me. I would obviously feel sad for one day, but the next day I made sure that I started again. That's when I always feel planning is the key. You will have to plan yourself. You will have to execute the plan. Planning is something that everyone does actually. They know what they want to do, but it is about execution of the plan where sometimes people lack. First, we have to stick on to the plan that we make. That is one of the major tips that I'll give to anyone who comes to me for an advice. So, sticking on to the plan is the first important thing that is there, because everyone is good at planning things. It is at the execution stage that some hold back and some go further. That's where we end up missing out. So that is one thing. And then difficulties will always be it time, be it other things. It could be multiple things. It could be financial, time, and stuff. So that will always be there. So you should not be bothered about the difficulties that you face. Take them as one more exam. Basically, you're appearing for 8 exams. Consider the difficulty as your ninth exam and make sure you bombard that as well. So that is one more tip that I'd give. The third tip
okay.
is something like, I'll always say it. You should remain confident and patient. Even if the paper is difficult, this is an examination tip. Maybe you should not be stressed out or bothered that the paper is difficult. Say, for example, intermediate was something like. CPD was purely multiple choice, so it was basically 12th syllabus mostly. So it was not very difficult or something. So I managed it and I got I got a good score as well. I got a distinction. So it was not something that I faced that I faced a great difficulty or something. But in intermediate, the first ever paper in CA accounting was one of the most deadliest papers that I ever faced. It was very lengthy. I was not aware on how to tackle a lengthy paper. I stuck on a 16 mark sum for 1.5 hours. I was left with around 70 marks to attempt in the last 1 hour and 15 minutes. I had completed only 30 marks for 1 hour and 45 minutes. I had 70 marks to attend for 1 hour and 15
Hmm.
minutes. When I came out, I was really like, I told my parents that if I clear accounting, I'll be clearing IPCC. That was the mindset with which I
Right.
came out. So difficult papers
Right.
are not something that you should be very bothered about. You just go in,
Right.
do your best, leave the rest to the hard work that you've done, and if you believe in God, to God. So that is something that
Correct.
I'll always say. Never be bothered about a difficult paper. There is always a saying that if it is a difficult paper, you will get an easy evaluation or something. But do not rely on that.
Absolutely.
It is
Hmm.
not something that is guaranteed. But yeah, you've done your hard work. You've written your exams. Just stay relaxed and go ahead for the next exams. I've seen many people who feel that the paper is difficult and get an exemption in that paper, but because that they felt difficult and they fail, they leave the remaining papers unattempted. So they miss out on that
That's
exemption.
the mistake.
So that
Yes.
is a major advice that I give for any of my friends or anyone that who comes to me for an advice.
Absolutely. That's great. Super, super amazing strategies, Rangesh. And thank you so much for taking out time for all our viewers. And on behalf of my entire channel, wishing you all the very best for your professional career now. Now you can actually kickstart your career. Two much coveted degrees of the country, the much talked about and the much popular degrees of the company. So you've given a kickstart to your career. All the very best for your future endeavors, and may you
Thank you.
achieve pinnacle of success in your professional life, Rangesh. And thank you so much for taking out time for all the viewers.
My pleasure, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for giving
Thank
me
you.
an opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, then. See you. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
All right, guys, this was Rangesh for all of you. And yes, he has, at the end of the interview, given a lot of strategies which are very, very practical, which I personally face difficulties in with my students, because my students will tell me that, सर CFR का पेपर अच्छा नहीं गया, हम बाकी पेपर नहीं दे रहे, हम कॉस्ट और बीएम एसपीएम नहीं दे रहे, सर law paper was not good, so we are not going to give the entire group. This is a wrong decision. This is a bad decision, because just out of emotions, just out of your anxiety, just out of your stress, if you fail to give other subjects, then this is the biggest mistake that you can ever do, ever commit in your professional career. Guys, do not be bedazzled, do not be stressed out if one of your papers do not go fine. It's really okay if one of your paper doesn't go very fine. It's really okay. Please go ahead. Please give rest of the papers. You never know, you can score well in that particular paper. You might score at least 40 or 50 in that paper, and you might qualify. You don't want to lose your chance of getting an exemption. So do not do this mistake which most of the students do. So yes, that was Rangesh for all of you. And yes, I've been trying to pull out rank holders, especially rank holders who've taken some sort of guidance, some sort of training from me, and other AIRs also. And guys, I've got through one AIR who has not taken even a single coaching in his CMA final examination. And the next week, we'll schedule an interview for that particular AIR. Plus, guys, along with these interviews, I'm also arranging some live sessions on my Instagram channel. And the Instagram handle is NIKKHIL6256. I repeat, NIKKHIL. There's a double K. NIKKHIL6256. You can join me on Instagram live sessions. I'll be having some live sessions with intermediate and final students who've qualified intermediate or finals, and they'll be guiding you on their strategy. I'll be doing that on Instagram over next couple of days. So yes, with this anxiety, with this super inspiration which we got today from Rangesh, I wish all the very best to all of you, and may you guys also share screen on my YouTube channel in the next attempt as an AIR, as a rank holder, and may I take interview, and may I take pride and privilege in taking your interview on my channel. With this pray and hope, all the very best and happy studying. Bye bye.